my name is Lisa Nelson, and I am the Special Advisor to the President and CEO of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Today's Trash Panda Tales is brought to you by WOW, our cable and internet provider. And our story today, The Backwards Wizard by Kim Dozier. There once was a wizard with a most unusual problem. He was a backwards wizard. Each time he used his magic, it came out all backwards and never turned out as he intended. As you can imagine, this created countless catastrophes within the kingdom. It seemed that no matter how hard the backwards wizard tried, he could never get his magic to work properly. He was constantly giving himself and others into the most dreadful predicaments. For instance, one day he wanted something special for the queen, so he tried to make a beautiful bouquet of flowers that would never wither. And she started scratching violently. Ah! The backwards wizard immediately fell to his knees and begged for forgiveness. "Oh, Your Majesty, I'm so sorry." Unfortunately, it turned out to be a huge bouquet of poison ivy. This posed quite a quandary for the queen. She immediately broke out in a very itchy rash. As if that wasn't bad enough, one night the backwards wizard was asked to find a surefire cure for I'm a Dragon and Dwight Dragon's hiccups. Now you're probably thinking, what's the big deal about dragons hiccuping? But when they're fire-breathing dragons, it can be rather dangerous. In fact, sometimes their explosive epidemics were so immense that before long, you could have an entire kingdom of crispy critters. The backwards wizard didn't find a cure, but he did make their fire breath turn into a freezing fog. Ordinarily, this might not have been so bad, but it was in the middle of the winter, so the castle and everyone in it became royal ice sculptures. The backwards wizard was frozen with fear. "Oh no," he gasped, "did I do that?" Not surprisingly, thereafter, everyone pretty much gave the backwards wizard the cold shoulder. In due time, after the backwards wizard apologized profusely, it was decided that he should be given another chance to get his magic straightened out. He was asked if he could make a magical tea party for all the little princesses throughout the land. The wizard was delighted that someone was finally warming up to him. He proudly proclaimed, "My dear princesses, I shall prepare a spot of tea that will surely hit the spot." Delight quickly turned into despair, for instead of a magical tea party, he created a topsy-turvy tea party. When it came time to pour, the room became a frenzy of flying fancy. A tide of tea drenched the princesses, ruining their pretty party dresses, and the cake with the sticky pink marshmallow icing flew through the air and landed smack dab upon the head of each astonished princess. Talk about a royal mess. The baffled wizard just stood there amongst all the chaos as the little princesses went slipping and sliding and squealing around the room. Ooh! Wait, that's not all. Last but certainly not least, there was the time when all the knights needed to have their armors cleaned after battle. The backwards wizard begged to have another chance. After much ado, the king reluctantly gave his permission. Here again, the result was disastrous. Instead of a beautiful, bright, shining armor, they all turned to rust. The knights had to stand guard in their red woolen long johns. It was quite embarrassing, and they were not the least bit pleased about it. The backwards wizard felt so badly that he had gotten all things turned around yet again. Downtrodden, he moaned mournfully, "Oh, I can't do anything right. I might as well be a court jester. Let it be known, from this day forth, I shall try no more. I give up." The king had compassion for his misdirected friend and tried to offer reassurance. There, my good man. Fret not, for indeed I see within you a great magic." The backwards wizard shrugged his shoulders and mumbled, "If I do have some great magic, it's so turned around that I'll never be able to get it straightened out." Patting the backwards wizard on the back, the king suggested, "Well, when your magic is backwards, you must simply learn how to turn it around." But how do I do that, sire?" the wizard asked desperately. The king thought for a moment and then replied, "To unlock your magic in the right way, learn how to use the key each day." Full of hope, the wizard eagerly inquired, "Where is the key, sire? Very seriously, almost in a whisper, the king answered, "The key is within thee." The wizard was astonished and quite confused. "Sire, I don't understand what you mean." The king beckoned his friend to the balcony overlooking the entire kingdom. "Come hither and behold." Together they watched the many people from peasant to royalty who lived within the kingdom. "You see," the king explained, "within each person there is a bit of magic and the key to unlock that magic. Sadly, many are not even aware that they possess either." The backwards wizard was spellbound. He anxiously begged the king to continue. "My friend, if you want to change the direction of your life, you must first change the direction of your attitude. Attitude is the key. It is the difference between the prince and the poor pauper. It is the difference between a knight in shining armor and a dreaded black knight. Attitude will give you the strength and courage to believe in yourself. Attitude will keep you going when you want to give up. Attitude urges you to make the most of each and every day. Attitude is everything." The wizard thought about the words of wisdom that the great king had shared with him. "Sire, if what you're saying is true, to become a wizard, then I must have a better attitude." The king exclaimed excitedly, "Jumping dragons, I think you've got it." Then, much to the king's despair, the backwards wizard whined wretchedly, "But oh, how do I get a better attitude? How do I change? Oh, I don't even know where to begin. It's simply hopeless. I'm doomed." "Now see here, my good man," the king scolded, "stop that sniveling. Be a winner, not a whiner. Chin up, I am your king, and I say that you're special in my sight. You must learn to see yourself as I see you, believing that you can be all that you so desire. The answers that you seek will magically appear when the open mind you are willing to see and hear." With many thoughts swirling about his head, the backwards wizard wandered aimlessly throughout the castle. He walked for what seemed like hours until he found himself standing at the massive doors of the majestic royal library. Although he had passed by that way on many occasions, this time he noticed something that he had never seen before. As if in a trance, he carefully recited the words which were engraved above the doorway. "Reading is the magical key to take you where you want to be. Read a good book each and every day, and you'll change your whole life in every way." "That's it," he shouted triumphantly. "By reading good books, I will learn how to become whomsoever I hope to be." The backwards wizard flung open the doors and ran inside. He began reading all the books written by his heroes. He read how to turn around his backwards way of thinking by constantly speaking positive words of encouragement. He read that to succeed, he must first forget about all of his past failures and then see himself through the eyes of the king. Most importantly, he read that if he never ever gave up, he would become a wondrous wizard that he so desired to be. From that day on, the backwards wizard chose to do all that he could do to transform himself from the backwards wizard he had always been into someone far greater. He read good books constantly. He kept a positive attitude. He always spoke optimistic words. And no matter how dreadful things seemed to be, he never, ever, ever gave up. Before he knew it, he was truly the greatest wizard in the world. The wizard found that the wise king was indeed right. A good attitude can turn your entire life around. Needless to say, he was never a backwards wizard ever again, and all those who lived within the kingdom lived magically ever after. The Backwards Wizard by Kim Dozier.